Habibis, welcome to Habibi Power Hour. We are the Habibi Bros.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm Siraj Hashmi, as you probably know, joined by my co-pilot. That's right, co-pilot.
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 we
Mujahed Kobbe.
Just for this episode.
We both know how to take off, but we don't know how to land. We're gonna land this thing here right now. We're gonna park it right here because we got a lot to talk about. There's a whole lot going on.
Even just today, there's some shit going on.
Yeah, we're gonna start off hot with our weekly Jihad. Glad you're all joining us. I think, man, where do we even start? There's just been a whole lot of bullshit happening right now, and I don't know where to even begin.
It's almost, you're almost speechless on all the things that have been going on. I mean, the number one thing, absolutely, that we need to talk about is the protests and the riots.
Well, obviously there's that, but there's just so many different layers to it.
Oh no, absolutely. There's the layer of people defending riots and saying that it's not a form of violence. It's actually a form of speech, while going around and saying that Tom Cotton is calling for the New York Times staffers all to be killed. I mean, it's just fucking insane that they want to.
Why is he not calling for actual lynchings?
Yeah, right. I mean,
sending in the troops is literal. Writing words is literal violence.
Literal violence. 100%. Sending troops just to back up the police is actually sending them right into the offices of the New York Times, to the black staffers in specific, and actually attacking them. This is what New York Times reporters want you to believe. They're quote tweeting it, the article, and saying that this is attacking our black staffers and all this kind of bullshit. And they're trying to stand up like there's some heroic saviors of black people or some shit. I don't know, man. Yeah. It's just so fucking insane to me. The logic that they try to justify some of the things that are going on. And you just know, you can just totally see what is behind it.
Yeah, so I read the Tom Cotton article literally a few minutes ago before we got on air, because I needed to see just how bad it was, because the reaction to it was very strong and vicious. And I'm reading it, and I am seeing him say that this is a country of laws, and law enforcement, as it stands, police officers, local police departments are currently outnumbered by rioters and looters, and they don't have the support they need from the federal government. So send in the support they need from the federal government. Send in the National Guard. It's what they did during the LA riots in 1992. It's what they did in 1968 during the Holy Week uprising after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And interestingly enough, we're seeing the National Guard being deployed to different cities in the country, and some politicians are hand-wringing and not accepting that help, or they're trying to keep a hands-off approach while their city burns. And he was highlighting New York City as one of the particular towns that's experiencing the worst of the looting and rioting.
Right.
And you're seeing so many different narratives fly around here. I can't help but think that the only reason he had it published in the New York Times was to really get everybody to listen, because if you put it in the New York Times, it's probably going to get read.
Oh, absolutely. And especially it's going to get read by people who aren't on the right, because, most of the subscribers who are on New York Times are in the left, on the left. And I thought it was a well-written piece. It was well thought out, had great examples, and it also put it into perspective of the law.
Yeah.
And people are coming out saying that it's going to put Black lives at risk.
And that's the assumption that and that's racist right there, because that's assuming that all the rioters are black.
Exactly
and
right.
not assuming that like Antifa and and a lot of these like bad actors are people of like all different backgrounds. It's not like mainly black people. In fact, there are probably more white people protesting out there
right
or rioting. Well, I would say both, because I think there's a lot of liberals out there who specifically white liberals who have that white liberal guilt, and they feel like they haven't done anything to sort of combat racial injustice. So there was like a video I saw earlier today in which there's like a crowd of white people and they're all renouncing their white privilege. Like, that really did it, guys. As soon as that video ended, all of them were arrested and sent to prison for life.
I wish that's the least that they deserve.
Like, they're literally trying to make white privilege into a myth. Like, they're like, oh no, white privilege doesn't exist for me. I renounced mine. I renounced mine 10 years ago. White privilege doesn't exist for me.
Well, that's why you still write movies and all your writer staff are white people, or all the people who directed are white people, and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's like, for example, Seth Rogen. How many black writers does he have on there? When he put
together all those movies, I mean, all of his,
or trying to denounce all lives matter and stuff, and talk about how, like, you don't deserve my movies or anything like that. How many black people do you have on staff? How many black people do you have writing for you? I mean, because the people he hangs out with don't look black whatsoever. So I mean,
and that's the thing, is like, I think, the saying, when you see someone driving in like a giant pickup truck, I always think like, oh, they got to be compensating for something, right? Like, they got a small little Twinkie for a third leg, and all of a sudden, boom! Like, that's what you're seeing right now. Is all of these, like, everything you're seeing today is white liberals who are trying to overcompensate for the fact that they themselves have been racist internally, or they haven't done enough to say, like, go hang out with or like just immerse themselves in other cultures and actually try to understand people. And like, it's one thing to just say that it's one thing to say Black Lives Matter, but it's another thing to like actually just like just do what is right and not be racist. I mean, I don't know how to really. It's hard to express, because like all you have to do is just like not have doubt about people who have a darker skin tone than you do, or be suspected that they are going to do something bad or evil or steal from you or something like that. Like, right. There's just a lot of. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's like I think Morgan Freeman said it, or whatever. It's like, just stop talking about it. Like, nobody, just stop talking about it. It doesn't just be friends with them. Just employ more of them. Don't jump onto Instagram and just post a blank fucking picture, just a black picture, and think that that's it. That's your contribution to this and to society. And the rioting that's happening, the looting that's happening, and all this stuff that's happening, that's not doing anything to help the cause either, at all.
Right.
I mean, what this should be highlighting, and what we should be seeing, is conversation on police brutality, not conversation on white guilt and fucking white people posting blank Instagram posts and shit like that.
Black piles, black boxes.
Of what is actually the problem. The problem is not you feeling like you have your guilt, your white guilt, or the problem is that there's racial injustice or anything like that. The problem is police brutality, and we need to make sure that we're focused on that. These people who were killed and murdered at the hands of the police, and not just black people, but Mexicans, Asians, whites, blacks, every single race that has been a victim of this is in need of justice. And the only way that they're going to get justice is if we actually reform the policies that protect these bad fucking people. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand. Like, to me, being friends, a lot of friends with people on the right and all this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, support the police. The police have a hard job, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But why are we giving them this much power? Mm-hmm. Why are we allowing them to be able to enforce themselves this way on our freedoms? It makes no sense to me that they should be allowed to have this power.
So
and they need to switch that ideology.
Before we get to the comment board, because I'm seeing a lot of good comments from the Habibis tonight. I think Chris Rock said it in a stand-up recently in the last few years about how there are certain professions that simply can't afford to have any bad apples. Like pilots are one of them, doctors, and law enforcement, police. You simply can't afford to have any bad police officers. And
yeah, because like if you're like what he was saying is like if you had bad apples who are pilots and just crashing planes,
yeah, they're just like
whatever.
He just doesn't always crash into mountains. Like, all right, let's get to some comments. Kate Hyde, I'm sad Tom Cotton doesn't have a name that Jay can mispronounce. I'm sad about that too. What
it happened?
It did. You also didn't butcher
easy fucking names, even for me.
Yeah. There's that, and then because you have Andrew Cuomo, and Chris Cuomo. Let's see what else we got.
Cuomo. I read the name as it's spelled, as I was taught in the UAE by somebody who probably didn't have English until their like third language or something. It was like Urdu, Arabic, and then English, and then that person's trying to teach me English. Yeah. Even though I had an American mom, but she was from Arkansas, so doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm looking through the comments right now. Here we go. Oh, Siraj's haircut definitely has that gay incel vibe. Damn it. I actually had a thicker mustache too. I just like shaved the beard a little bit and left more of a mustache. I thought I'd have a little bit more of a Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible Fallout vibe, but wife told me to shave it off.
It was probably going to be more of a gay pedo. Probably what it would look like. I never understood that the mustache thing. It doesn't.
I mean, you got to be in a certain mindset for it.
Right.
Let's see. Moving on.
Most of our pilots like to land. Exactly.
Yeah, we should eventually do call-ins. That would be lit. I think we need like an actual switchboard in order to do that.
That would be funny.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on back to our weekly jihad. So one thing that I noticed, and this is something that's interesting to me, because as soon as the video of George Floyd surfaced, you had pretty much widespread condemnation. Very few people were actually justifying the actions of the officer, Derek Chauvin. And you even had the president within a few days announced that he had called, offered his condolences to the Floyd family. Of course, we're seeing reports that like apparently the president didn't like allow George's family a word in edgewise.
And
as it may, he expedited the Justice Department to look into Floyd's case. He did do that, and he was charged. And Chauvin was charged later that afternoon, right. which is like pretty much the swiftest. I think the shortest turnaround time between when a video came out of someone getting killed by a police officer and the police officer actually getting arrested and charged. And then everything went to shit. Like on Friday afternoon, you initially saw protests develop into vandalism and rioting in front of CNN in Atlanta. CNN headquarters of all places.
And CNN
of all places.
And CNN was like, and the funny thing is, the most hilarious thing is you have CNN personalities tweeting out that rioting, looting, like we need to hear what they have to say, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. It's peaceful. It's mostly peaceful, blah, blah, blah. And then they started to spray paint the CNN logo and break into it and shit. And then they're like, oh, it's turning violent. Now it's turning violent. It's like, we saw what you were saying just 2 seconds ago, man. Like when it's at your doorstep, it's violent. But when it's hurting somebody who can't afford a new window in their shop.
Yeah, and earlier that day,
peaceful protest.
And earlier that day, I think the reporter was it Omar Jimenez who got arrested like at like 5 o'clock in the morning in Minneapolis because him and his entire crew, they all got arrested, which is ridiculous. Obviously, like how are you going to arrest a journalist like on live television?
And the full crew.
It was
so
just,
good.
I mean, like just the worst decision any police crew can make.
I like how people are trying to make it into a racial thing when his producer and cameraman who are also arrested were white. I mean, it's anything that they can turn into a racial thing, they're going to try. Like that CBS tweet about saying the white store owner shot the black intruder.
I've been meaning to put that on.
And you're like, I would have shot that fucker as well. And it's like, and they're just trying to really fan the flames of the racial divide while stating that the only one who's dividing the country is Donald Trump. And when you're able to be the one thing that really showcases this and exposes it the most is Twitter, is being able to see these people's like real opinions on this kind of stuff and how they report shit. You really start to see that they are pieces of fucking garbage.
There's so much garbage going on. Real quick to the boards. Are we going to see Ernie? Yes, you will see Ernie. He always comes in at the very end to lift everyone's spirits. Kate, CNN was so excited to have major victim status that day. That is so true. I was watching CNN in the evening as the Atlanta headquarters was getting bum rushed, and you had already seen promo go out for CNN, basically of the reporter getting arrested by Minneapolis police. It was just wild.
And they wanted to tweet that we're not going to make ourselves a story. It's like
Fuzzy is rooftop ready. So the rooftop Koreans, the rooftop Habibis, the storefront
Arabs,
Sikhs.
The storefront
so
Sikhs.
funny.
Yeah.
It's
so good. And the funny thing is, when you're looking at these people defend themselves, they're minorities. They are minorities trying to save their own businesses, their own livelihoods, all of that stuff.
And it's also sad because in St. Louis, 77-year-old retired police captain David Dorn, he died defending his friend's pawn shop from looters, and they shot him to death. Like, it's the saddest shit ever. And he was also black. And the fact that there's like been only outrage, like, I think
from the right.
I'm seeing outrage mainly from the right. I'm not seeing one person on the left really express. I've seen maybe one person
on the left. There's not.
I've seen one tweet
on this, and that has actually tried to tweet on this.
I've seen one tweet from Willie Geist of MSNBC actually tweet out like a genuinely heartfelt post about David Dorn, posting his photo as well. Hat tip to him. I think Willie Geist isn't really a partisan. He's at MSNBC and NBC News, and you can make that of what you will. But like, of all the people that are there, he is not as bad as say like a Joe Scarborough or Mika Brzezinski. But yeah, you're not going to see the same level of concern for a 77-year-old retired police captain than you are, say, for a George Floyd. And it sucks that we have to start comparing the levels of like compassion for the deaths of fellow human beings who die in horrific ways, because this is all a fucking game. It's, politics is a game.
It's a political game on how they can push their agenda easier.
Yeah. And I've largely stayed off of Twitter today because I've just been busy with work, and I'm coming back to it this evening, like drinking from a goddamn fire hose because there's so much news that I'm missing out on. Holy shit. Like, you got Drew Brees saying that he doesn't agree with anyone who disrespects the flag, and then him getting canceled as a result. Which, by the way, I don't know. Did you see that? Did you see that news about Drew Brees?
Yeah, I did. And then Jamila Hill, of course, jumping on it and disregarding the fact that he donated more than like $3 or $4 million to Louisiana for coronavirus relief and stuff. And the thing is you can't be patriotic. If you're patriotic and white, you're a racist. And that's exactly how they're gonna.
But here's what I'm gonna push back. Actually, I have a little disagreement with you, Jay, because this is the one time that I'm hoping we can actually have a little bit of debate.
Here we go.
I think Drew Brees was in the wrong here. I think Drew Brees should have shut up, because I think Drew Brees is, when it comes to the whole Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem. The immediate argument, people see kneeling during the national anthem and they immediately think disrespect for the flag, disrespect for the troops, disrespect for the military. No,
right.
It doesn't mean that. It means they are trying to raise awareness for police brutality and racial injustice. And that usually everybody just seems to talk past each other. And
right. And I agree with you there. And I think Colin Kaepernick and the kneeling and all that kind of stuff should not have been overblown the way it was. My take on what Drew Brees was talking about was the burning of the flag. I probably I could be wrong about it. He might have been talking about the kneeling and stuff.
I think he was talking about the kneeling.
If that's
because
the case,
burning,
then,
I mean, like if you want to talk about burning, like, yeah, okay, disrespectful to the flag, but like, we have that constitutional right, that First Amendment right to
absolutely
burn it.
And I think it's,
and you can disagree with that decision, and you can disagree with that type of speech, but it is constitutionally protected speech. The government can't prosecute you for that, and
they can't do fucking shit to you for it.
I again, like earlier,
that's why I love this country.
Yeah, no, this country's great. I mean, like, think of all the protests that would happen in any other country, and basically they would all get shot to death. Like, if this were China, they would all basically get shot to death. And I say this knowing that tomorrow is the what is it, the 30, it's the it will be the 31st anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre.
Right. And the funny thing is when Pompeo wanted to come and talk about it and everything, they're talking about like irony. Oh, it's ironic that he wants to talk about the square. And it's like, why? How is it that you are going to compare these people to the absolute fucking worst of humanity that has to be offered? And none of that shit has happened here. None of it. Yeah. I mean, you have mayors and you have people telling Trump to go fuck himself, and nothing happens to them.
Nothing
Absolutely
happens.
Zero.
Every other country, they would get China, locked up.
Or North Korea telling their leaders to go fuck themselves. We would never hear from them ever again.
Again.
In some city of China telling Z can go fuck himself. He's gone.
I think what's the funniest thing, because like, and I'll get back to Kaepernick in a bit because I see a really good comment I want to respond to. But one of the funniest things is that when it comes to insulting Trump or being like fuck Trump or like fuck the president or like calling him Trump, like my immediate reaction is just like, okay, guys, like, this is so tired. Like, we've gotten to the point where we're insulting the president so much, it's exhausting to be like, oh, like, why are we even, I'm not even going to defend him. Just be like, read another book, come up with another insult. Like, you're not, like, he's never going to recover from it. Like, just because he's Trump. And I say that all the time. He's never going to recover from it because the people post that and they immediately think Trump's done. He's never, I'm out. I'm done.
I just saved America.
I saved America.
America.
Real quick, Sarah Reed says it wasn't only kneeling. He was wearing pig socks among other ridiculous clothing. That she's talking about Colin Kaepernick. Yes, he did. And that was a really dumb move. And I think as the years have gone on and what we've seen from his partnership with Nike. I think we've started to peel back a little bit of the layers that Colin Kaepernick wasn't always in it for the right reasons and was more in it to promote his own brand because he was a failing quarterback. Totally legitimate critique, right? Is that not a legitimate critique?
No, I love it. But the thing is like, even if he's wearing the pig socks and stuff like that, that's totally fine.
I know it's fine, but it just hurts his cause.
Yes, and I believe it does, because the thing is like, you don't want, in order to get people onto your cause, especially about police reform and stuff, is that if you're going to paint a picture that all police are fucking disgusting pigs and stuff like that, the majority of the people will tell you to go fuck yourself. I think more than 80. There was tweets I saw about people in their own communities and how they viewed cops, and they viewed them really highly, like in the 70s. Like approval rate was like in the 70s of percent. And the reason being is because they do believe that they're safe and secure with them. So if you're painting all of them pigs and they want to kill all of the black people and all of the people and all this kind of stuff, nobody's going to side with you on your thing.
Yeah. Two real quick comments from Awful Equation. Yeah, and he did the Castro thing in fucking Miami of all places. And then Max Toscano says, yeah, Colin Kaepernick's kind of a grifter. He turned down NFL contracts once the blackball narrative became more profitable for him with Nike. Yeah, 100%. And that all the support for Castro, that's like when I don't know if
especially in Miami.
Oh, yeah, in Miami of all places where pretty much every Cuban hates Castro, it's slapping their face. And why would you express any support for Castro? Let alone, I remember back like 15, 20 years ago, when I was a wee teenager, I was seeing people wear 15, 20 years. Yo, I was a small teenager. I was like 5'5", 110 pounds in 10th grade.
Oh shit.
110.
Bro, I'm 32 and I'm still 5'4".
Shut up. We met. We're like the same height, bitch.
Bro, it's an ongoing thing on Twitter. Everybody believes I'm 5'4" on there, and then
you're shorter than Ben Shapiro.
Exactly. That's the whole
and the only thing that makes him taller is his yarmulke.
100%.
I don't know. I was gonna say though that what I remember back in when I was a teenager, people were wearing the Che Guevara t-shirts. And I'm thinking, like, why are they wearing that? Like, who is this guy? And everyone was like, oh yeah, he's a revolutionary symbol. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, maybe one day, like, I'll be cool enough to wear one of those things. And I kept thinking that to myself. And then I learned and read more about Che Guevara and realized the type of shit that he did. I'm like, holy fucking shit. This is who they're praising? Like, that is insane. Like, it is insane.
It's crazy how people will defend China, and they will they're going to defend China. They'll defend like dictatorships around the world. But a U.S. senator writing an op-ed, or the U.S. president and stuff like that, that's where they're going to draw the line. And the reason why is because it's so easy for them to be able to pretend like they're some sort of fucking heroes or some heroic thing. You know what I mean? I mean, China's out here. There's over 1 million fucking Muslims who are put into re-educational death camps in China. And we still have our journalists and stuff like that, like defending China and shit, when they're the ones who caused this fucking coronavirus in the first place. God. But it's just so much easier for them to be able to shit on the United States being here and living here than it is for them to be able to actually criticize the worst that the world has to offer.
How big of an orgasm do you think the Chinese government had when all this shit went down here in the United States?
They were probably like, oh, you mean I don't have to bribe these people? They're going to do it themselves? That's
it's just, I mean, like, you got Li Zhangjiao, the foreign ministry spokesperson, being like, all people deserve human rights. Like, yeah, thank you, Li Jian. Now talk to us about those 1.1 million plus Uyghur Muslims you got in re-education camps, you bitch. I mean, it's just so much.
It's insane. And then you have the Iranian leaders and mullahs and shit like that.
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. All right, yeah, pronounce the names. Can you do it?
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad.
Oh, shut up.
Bro, they're Arab, all right? That's my second language. My first language is eating ass. My second language is Arabic, and my third language is fucking English.
Your first language is eating ass, really?
Yeah, it's a language, bro.
Oh my god.
You can ask Bruce's mom.
Oh my god. Persian. Anyways, okay. Persian. Speaking of Persian, where is Yashar? Yo, you know that's going to be clipped too. My first language is eating ass. That's going on the next promo. You just know it.
100%. That's what it's going to be. I think my brother's already cutting it right now.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Here's the craziest thing. You and I were talking about this yesterday. Because I had an exchange because there are protesters in DC. I went down to DC yesterday because I had to do some work. I had to record a video, which is coming out on Thursday for the Examiner. And as I was leaving, it was around maybe 1 o'clock, maybe just after maybe 1:45. So pretty early in the afternoon. I'm already seeing dozens of people walking over towards the White House because I'm parked only a few blocks away from there. I can see the White House from where I'm parked. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing a huge crowd there. And I'm like, yeah, I need to get the hell out of here. Like, this is going to turn into shit. So I get in my car, I drive off. They already start closing off the streets. And then when I get home, I'm seeing videos of all these protesters gathered together, not social distancing. And all of them were wearing masks. And I am seeing this and immediately thinking, only 2 weeks ago, they were calling everyone in Florida and Georgia grandma killers. And but the Florida beaches, they're reopening the beaches. And all of a sudden, those people were considered to be the worst of mankind. They're the worst of humanity because all they wanted to do was kill old people with coronavirus. And then here they were protesting police brutality and demanding more police accountability, which are fine causes to protest.
No, bro. I'm sorry. I have to cut you off.
Yeah, cut me off.
They're not protesting just police brutality. They're protesting for Black rights because Black people have no rights in this country, bro. You have to understand. They're protesting for the rights of people. So the sacrifices of your grandmother is actually justified.
Maybe. I mean,
no, I'm saying this is the twist that they're putting into it compared to when Michigan had the people protesting to reopen their businesses, reopen their livelihoods and stuff.
Yo, so basically when I'm seeing this, I'm getting pushback from people on the left being like, oh, this is a rare miss from you. Like, no, it fucking isn't. Do you hear yourselves right now? I mean, literally Memorial Day weekend, Lake of the Ozarks, people were gathered in a pool, a large pool, all drinking and hanging out and partying, not giving a fuck about coronavirus. And look, I think that was pretty distasteful. Right. And I am pretty consistent on this, thinking that that's pretty distasteful. But now all of a sudden it's acceptable to just go out and protest with people all around you. Yeah, sure. Wearing a mask protects other people, but doesn't necessarily protect you, especially if you're not wearing an N95 mask, and not everybody has access to an N95 mask.
Especially because
they're changing the narrative, and they are moving the goalposts all over the place, and it's just I feel duped. Is what I'm saying. I feel like the last few months, I have been duped by people telling me that I can't go out and that I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get my in-laws sick. I'm going to get my parents sick. And their immunity isn't as strong as mine. So like, I got to stay inside. And then hear all these fucking people protesting. Like, it's just, and they're like, oh, but it's worth it this time. Like, yeah. Okay. But like, where was all this shit like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Like, we had Ahmaud Arbery, and then we had Breonna Taylor, and now George Floyd, and it all just like it spontaneously combusted once George Floyd that video came out. Like, before then, it was still somewhat suppressed. You had Atlanta protests, like, okay, that's they were starting to reopen their state, and people weren't really complaining about that. But it's just, man, it is exhausting.
100%. No, 100%. And the thing is like you're saying, it's not only feeling duped. They are out here insulting your intelligence. They're not just duping you. They're insulting your intelligence. They think you're fucking retarded. I mean, stupid.
Wow. Canceled.
Sorry. No, I know, right? Canceled 100%. No, sorry. They think you're stupid.
How dare you?
I know. Because the thing is like before then, when people are saying that they need to reopen so they can put food on people's tables, so they need to reopen their businesses so they can stay afloat. They need to do these things so they can keep on with their livelihoods. That was a grandmother killer. It's no 40 million people unemployed, people losing their jobs, people, all this kind of stuff. This is a sacrifice people need to make because it's going to save at least one life. It's going to save one life.
It's all just one life.
One life. And now people want to pretend like people were just protesting to open a salon, or people were protesting to open their favorite bar or whatever. And now people are protesting for people's rights and shit. So your grandmother dying is absolutely essential, and it's okay. And you have the same fucking health officials and experts saying like, look, if you can't tell the difference between opening up a salon and protesting for Black people to actually be able to live, I can't help you. And it's like,
yeah,
that's not what people are saying whatsoever. And please suck my fucking dick, because people are honestly, people who are going to be losing their business, losing their livelihoods, losing all of these things. Why is that sacrifice more important? I don't understand it.
And like, look, I think it was ridiculous.
New reforms.
I think the Michigan protests were ridiculous. I think the protests at the state capitals, I think that was a lot too. Like, they weren't wearing masks, and they were putting other people in danger. I thought it was dumb. And I think I was openly saying, this is dumb. What are you doing? And I can't, and somehow I can't
place people on the list.
And somehow I can't be consistent in saying, I think like, yes, you should. Obviously, I'm not going to like say you shouldn't protest, but I am going to say, like, I think you're being a little bit reckless here. And I'm obviously entitled to that opinion. And I think it applies here as well. I think people are being reckless, on top of obviously being reckless physically by, destroying buildings and shooting up. I mean, like, setting fire to churches, setting fire to buildings, looting them, destroying businesses, beating up the business owners, sometimes killing them. Obviously being
killing
reckless.
cops,
but
killing cops,
even the peaceful protesters, running over police. And again, it's not like the police haven't done anything wrong here. They have. They've definitely fucked up a number of times. I've seen a lot of videos. Jordan Knoll, who we both know, he posted a pretty good montage of police fucking up, and they should be called out on it. I think it's pretty disgusting when you have a New York City police officer in a car with a crowd in front of him, but space behind them, decide to go forward and like give like a little jerk of the gas pedal and like send people flying. Like, I think that's inappropriate. I think that's harmful, and I think that puts people's lives at risk. I don't think there's any place for that.
Absolutely. 100%. And I think we need, and you're right, I think we need to have a lot more accountability for the police when it comes to those type of things.
And when I see this, like, everybody's brain has melted more than it already has. And it's obviously made my life a living hell, because I got to put all these bitches on the list. But there is some good news. There is some good news, and people are saying, let's see, Julio. Oh, so before we get into what I want to talk about first, Julio chimes in here with "Where's the urn?" First of all, let's talk about Jim Mattis of all people.
Oh yeah, put Julio on blast.
We were putting that bitch on blast. Julio, get your ass in here. I know you're not actually physically present, but holy shit, man, that was whew. That was really something, right? And the fact that he's getting dunked on by the president. And here he is. He's coming and responding, no.
No, let's be clear here.
All right,
the president cannot dunk on Mattis. He can't. There's no reality in the world where a person like Donald Trump can dunk on a person like Jim Mattis. I want to get that out here right now. And as I was telling you before, like Jim Mattis.
Whoa. Nobody is undunkable. Okay? Everybody can anybody can get it.
You're right.
Mattis had a Twitter account, I might put him on the list. I don't know. I might do it. I might do it just to stick it to Julio.
You could. You could put that pin right up that butt.
But yes, you're saying that you don't think that Trump can dunk on Mattis,
right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because so far Jim Mattis has no history of being out for himself. All right. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was what we were talking about before we got on here as well, is that he's a very honorable, principled person, and his history completely can justify that. But also, as I was saying, is in 2 weeks, if he starts within 2 weeks, if he starts promoting a new book or something, then yeah, you can stick the pin up my ass. That's totally fine too.
So when I think of this whole Jim Mattis thing, and I didn't get through the whole article because I've been rushed down here. But from what I've read, he said that Trump is not actively trying to unite the country, and that he's like actively dividing it. Look, I make what you will about Trump's handling of this whole crisis. I think there is enough justification in thinking that Trump isn't really doing the best job right now. And I think that there is more that he could do to try to unite the country. And at this juncture, I don't know if he is trying to be more careful about putting himself out there, in which he could be criticized more, especially after that stunt he pulled with the photo op in front of St. John's Church, where tear gas and rubber bullets were used against protesters over by Lafayette Square, which is the square where the White House is sitting on, and St. John's Church, which is a block away. I don't know if obviously I think that was a pretty bad move on his end, and I don't know what he was going for, but I think it backfired, whatever it was.
No, and it backfired with a lot of people, and a lot of people who voted for him as well. Because the thing is, there's a distinction between Trump voters and Trump's base. Not all Trump's voters are in Trump's base. And he can easily turn off the people who voted for Obama, who voted for him this time. He can turn them off completely. They could be like, "Oh my God, I just made the most disgusting mistake of my life voting for Trump," and just waiting for these 4 years until they can vote for somebody to get him out.
And you've seen,
feel that way.
I mean, I've seen the polls come out in the last couple of days since Trump came forward with that St. John's Church stunt, and it's not looking good for him. Biden's apparently amassed a 11-point lead, at least a Real Clear Politics average nationally. Of course, that doesn't mean anything right now. We're 5 months away from the election as of today. And there's still enough ground for Trump to cover from that. We all know that the popular vote does not equal the electoral vote or the electoral college. And there's a good chance I still think Trump could win this thing, because when it's Democrats when it's the Democrats' race to lose, they always find a way to lose. Always. Like, they're so bad at running elections and winning elections, and just like, they had Katie Hill completely squander her district all because she decided to get into a throuple, and like her like successor like got absolutely destroyed in LA. It was LA too.
I know. It's insane. There's still some red here in California.
No, I know there's red in California, but I mean, it's like part of Los Angeles County, and
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. 100%. And especially because it's kind of hard to vote for a party that says that you are a piece of shit, basically, as it goes on over and over and over again. If you don't care about these policies, then you want those people to die.
Yeah.
Why am I going to vote for this?
And it's always that. It's like and AOC isn't the particular person who coined the phrase, but she has definitely made it more popular to just being like, people are dying. Like, no, if you like sit on your hands, like, people are going to die. Like, yeah, people are always going to die. And if you don't, I mean, like, if you decide to act on something, like, people are going to die anyways. Like, there's nothing you're going to do to stop Father Time. Death comes for all. The list comes for all. And 100%. It's just, all it is just like trying to pull at people's heartstrings to try to get like public sympathy. It's all bullshit. However, so we got some good news on Tuesday. Tuesday was an election day. We had primary elections all throughout the country. Iowa, Steve King, that motherfucker is out. Hell yeah.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Oh,
Fuck
man.
that motherfucker.
I feel liberated in saying this. Steve King could eat a bag of dicks, man.
Absolutely, 100%.
The worst.
The fact that he was a congressman for this long,
holy shit,
he was in American politics for this long is a fucking disgrace. And the fact that he was considered a Republican for this long is a disgrace. I'm a loss for words at how proud I am for getting this motherfucker out of here. The more people we get out who are like Steve King, the more people, the better it is for everybody in the United States of America.
So Steve King lost to Randy Feenstra, who ran against him in the primary in 2018 and lost. Here's the difference this time around. So rather than going after Steve King by calling him a white nationalist, you know what he did? Jay, do you know what he did? I'm gonna give you.
No. I honestly don't. Tell me.
Okay, so Randy Feenstra didn't accuse Steve King of being a white nationalist. He said that he was an ineffective ally to President Trump because he got all of his committee assignments stripped from him. Can you imagine that?
What's going on in Iowa? I wonder.
That shit worked.
Well, he's not an effective. He's not an effective congressman either way. I mean, that's totally fine. And the good thing is saying that he got stripped. Why did he get stripped?
Yeah.
If the Republican Party is out here to fucking kill everyone who's not white, why does Steve King get stripped of his powers?
Yeah, it's just so stupid. Jay, before Earn Time, because Earn Time is coming up real quick, let's get into some of the stuff happening in New York, because you've been wanting to really fuck shit up there, and I know that you want to take the lead on that.
Well, the thing is with the mayor over there, Blasio, he to me, he's the left's version of Steve King. Until he's out, there is a stain on the Democratic Party because of Blasio.
Yeah, and not enough people are saying that. Like, not enough people are making that connection. And I think after we get off this, you need to blast that shit. You need to like have that office meme where like you have a picture. No, you have a picture of Steve King and a picture of Bill De Blasio, and you have a Pam saying they're the same picture.
Yeah, right. 100%, because that's 100% truth. I mean, there is nobody in American politics who is openly anti-Semitic and against the Jewish population like Blasio. There's nobody, not one person. And the fact that he is the mayor of one of the most heavily populated Jewish communities in the fucking United States is mind-boggling to me. I just don't fucking understand it.
And the fact that he gets like, liberals hate De Blasio so much, yet they constantly elect this guy. Like, there's no other option. There's no other option. The other option was Anthony fucking Weiner. How bad does it get that you have to decide between De Blasio and Anthony Weiner?
But you have to decide against a pedophile and a fucking anti-Semitic. Like, it's so bad over in New York. And I don't understand how there's not more Jewish people leaving that state. I mean,
well, the thing is, a lot of people left New York City and ended up just spreading coronavirus to the rest of the country. That's what ended up happening.
The fact is, he openly, like last week or 2 weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, before it was okay to group together, he was only targeting Jewish people doing Jewish ceremonies or burials and stuff like that, and targeting them and saying, like, if you're going to do this, Jewish community, I'm going to send the cops at you. It's like, okay. We're just talking about how police brutality is a fucking thing, but it's not a thing when it's going against New York Jews. When it's going against Black people, it's a national crisis. We have to kill grandma and we have to do all this kind of stuff. But when it's going against the Jewish community in New York, it's totally fine.
All right, so
everybody wants to earn.
All the Habibis are asking for it, so I'm gonna go get them. Real quick, here's a prompt for you. Social media influencers posting how sad they are while showing how fucking ripped their abs are.
Well, that's gay. That's the white gay community. That's what that was. And
I'm so sad about Black Lives. Check to see how ripped this pack is. All right, I'll be right back with Ernie.
All right, go get him. I can answer some questions if you want to bring them up. Drink some more.
All right.
I
took off my AirPods.
Yeah, he is. He's got that Arab hairy stomach. That's what he's got. Michael, if you believe that I was 5'4", I can't help you. There's nothing I can do or say that's going to help you. The origin of the promo, that was all my brother. He was able to get that up and running for me. I wanted him to get Osama bin Laden dancing. That was his idea.
All right, here we go. Here he is.
I'm a little bit buzzed. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, here he is, guys.
There he is.
There's Ern. Hey, Ern, say what's up.
Oh. He is the superior breed of Chihuahuas.
He really honestly is.
I think Chihuahuas are like rats. There's a little bit bigger rats, but he is a fucking beautiful Chihuahua.
He really is. He's such a good boy. Yeah, he was laying down in the kitchen waiting for more crumbs to fall down. And I rescued him from his slumber. So I took him for a walk this morning because it was scorching hot here in DC. It got to like 95, and so first thing I woke up
95.
Well, I mean, like for DC, like the day before it was like only in maybe like the high 70s, and this guy's got such a thick coat. I mean, like, yeah, he's thick, like because obviously he's earned, but I mean, he's got a lot of fur too. Like when there's a video on my YouTube channel of me giving Ernie a bath, and you can see the fur when I'm like watering him down completely like flattens. You can actually see he's much thinner than his fur gives off.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He looks thick as fuck.
He really
Did he get tired real quick?
Actually, so I took him for like a mile walk, which is a good distance for him. By the end of it, he's pretty gassed. And oh, here we go. All right, there we go. Just lick that finger.
There he is. Yeah.
Here, lick that, lick those fingers. Oh man. All right. So back to the social media influencers. Did you see there was a video of a woman saying that she stood in solidarity with Black Lives Matter whilst covered in shit? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. And then in Germany, they're doing half black faces.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I posted. There was like a TikTok of this white woman
TikTok
posting up on.
It was a TikTok.
What's it called? TikTok, the Chinese spy app, which TikTok. I don't know. Jay, why do you still use that app?
I don't use it. There's only one video of me moaning on it, and there's another video of me.
No, but even if it's that, even if it's
kid to what I am now,
even if it's on your phone as an app, they still can spy on you.
The Chinese can do whatever they want.
Oh, okay. Just they get all the ass photos of, of Bruce's mom.
Hentai-tentacle porn. That's all that's on my phone.
Okay, so one thing that's I gotta point out here, because there was a social media intern, or not social media intern. There was some. I'm gonna put her on the list, but this literally this girl named Fiona. She was brought on as an intern to the Examiner for like a day. And then I see this video on social media, on Twitter, of her posing. And this is out like Santa Monica. She like gets out of her car, and you could see some other dude filming her, taking a photo of her with some guy boarding up a business. And then she just gets in their car and leaves. And like she is getting like dragged to hell. She like sets her account on private, and then she ends up deleting her entire account. And then on Twitter, and then like basically like a day after that video went viral, like she was no longer an intern. It was just so cringe, and like it was like look. I can't comment much on like the hirings and firings of people, because I don't know what is the inner workings here. I'm not part of management, but like she makes the lives of like us actually trying to do good work much harder. And look, I think what's going to happen is the sooner that some of these people get called out, the better, because there's still so many grifters out there. I mean, like, you're talking about like Charlie Kirk, you're talking about like Benny Johnson. Like these people are like literally the worst of the worst.
Absolutely. 100%. I know. And they make it easy for people to generalize the rest of everybody else as those people, as the Bennys, as Jacob Wolves, as all this. They say Jacob Rule on the right, the conservative Jacob Rule, and all this kind of stuff, or the conservative Alex Jones, the right crazy guy. They take these people and they generalize the whole everybody as those people.
By the way, that whole thing with Benny Johnson getting outed as gay, did you see that?
Oh my God. It was like and the thing is, everybody at BuzzFeed was outing him. And it's funny because like they were really hurt over him over the tweet he posted about Antifa. And that's also really really telling on their side as well, that they're willing to go ahead and out the guy because he was criticizing people who support Antifa. And if anyone else did that, their lives would be ruined. But it's okay to attack and to do these type of things to people on the right, and it's horrible. Yeah. By the way, I mean, who's on the list? How many hundreds of thousands of people do you have on the list for Sunday?
I haven't updated it since Monday. I started a running log so that when Sunday comes around, I'm not drowning in just DMs and notifications of people being like, look at this really bad tweet. I can at least keep up with it, but now I'm falling way behind and it's not looking good. I can tell you, and because Ernie's in my lap, I can't really like use the computer to show you all, but Jen Rubin definitely is going to get on the list. Here, let me see what else I got. Maybe I could show you guys. Billy Bragg. I guess he's a country singer. He posted a photo of Winston Churchill with a caption that said Antifa. And so as a result, he's definitely going to get on the list, but that got deleted. Then there was Hillary Clinton and another dude, Jesse McLaren, who I believe worked at BuzzFeed at one point in time. But Hillary Clinton posted the side-by-side of the White House in rainbow colors on the left, trying to point to like Obama's White House. And then on the right, posted like basically a darkened blackout and saying like elections matter. And of course I'm here thinking, this entire time, the only thing that what really solved our problems was just exterior lighting of the White House.
And the funny thing is that same picture was when Obama was president in 2015.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a recent one, and that to me is the funniest.
Last week was crazy. I think this one is going to be even nuts. Greg Martin writes, Deborah Messing with the Hitler Bible folder. I completely forgot about that because everybody was debunking it. Marianne Williamson, our orb queen, she posted a photo of the Hitler Bible Trump photo, and
she deleted it, and
I am blocked. Yeah, I got a screenshot, but I am blocked by Deborah Messing, who, by the way, has a writing hand emoji in her Twitter bio or Twitter name, completely jacking my shit.
You got to trademark that shit. Like, you got to, and then sue the
How do you trademark an emoji?
How
do you trademark an emoji? You can't.
You can't. But I'm just saying.
I mean, the memes are incredible. There are a lot of Habibis that like Fuzzy and Midnight
Cox.
Mitch and Cox.
Midnight Mitch,
yeah, they produce just some quality content. Oh, Richard Harambe, he's giving me some great shit too, because like he did the Death Star Alderaan getting destroyed GIF. That was beautiful. I've been trying to put together a whole like thread of every single meme that has been created by the list and by the Habibis, and I just haven't had any time to do it. I've been drowning myself in producing things for work and like for the personal brand, and obviously walking this thick boy because obviously he's more important than the list, right?
Yeah, he needs a little exercise and stuff.
Yeah.
100%.
So, but anyways, one thing we didn't cover that you were really heated about, and you've been meaning to rip them, was all the liberal celebs bailing out jailed protesters, many of whom were rioting.
Oh, 100%. And the thing is like 3 weeks before, the same celebrities we're talking about, and white liberals and all these people were talking about how you have to stay home. It's okay. We're all in this together and all this kind of shit. While they're fine with their millions and fucking shit in their bank accounts and all that kind of stuff. But you losing your business, you losing your job is totally okay because you're going to save your grandmother. And now they're like, here's a couple of grand. Go fucking group together as much as possible and go rob the person who we are telling to stay home because it's gonna save lives.
Yeah.
And ruin their business. Go rob it as well. Go fuck their shit up. And it really pisses me off. It really does, because a lot of these people who live in those areas are minorities themselves. So they don't, and they have worked really hard to get where they are with the stuff that they have, especially if they're independent business owners and stuff.
Yeah.
If they own a gas station, if they own the convenience store, if they own a boutique store, all those type of stuff, if that gets ruined, it's not the fact that, they have insurance. It's not a Target. It's not a Walmart. It's not a Best Buy. It's not these big, huge corporations. It's mom and pop stores that are getting fucked at this. And it's the same mom and pop stores that you said that they have to stay closed, that they have to ruin their business, that they have to pray that they have enough money to be able to reopen once we flatten the curve to be okay. Now, with it not only having no business 3 months ago to being completely destroyed by rioters and stuff, because now it's about rights, and now it's about people who don't have anything.
Yeah. Going to a few comments. We only got about 2 minutes left. James Penza asks, Siraj, did Chris Palmer and his burn it all down tweet make the list? Yes, last week he did. I'm trying to recall exactly where. I gotta go to the actual. I'll pull it up. I think he definitely made the top 15. I think it was like 12 or 13. It was a really deep list this past week. It was too much.
Be even more deep. I don't even know how you're going to keep it at 15.
It's going to be balls deep, baby. Team Vogue is definitely going to make the list at some point. I don't know if they're going to get honorable mention. The week is still young. That's the thing, is like whoever tweets out the most insane stuff later on in the week oftentimes gets higher placement just because of the benefit of having the memory of it being there. So we got about a minute left. What do you got going on the rest of the week, Habibi?
Me, nothing. Just going at the same people as much as possible, and also showcasing that people are just being over exaggerated. They were over exaggerated 2 months ago, and they're over exaggerated now. And the fact that you can see people flip flop as easily as possible as they are, I'm going to try and make sure.
I didn't make this point earlier, but I want to just make it now. The fact that there was widespread consensus after George Floyd died, and the fact that there was really nothing to debate, shows you that the Trump administration isn't trying to incite violence. It's got to be the other side, because think who benefits when the country is going to shit. It's always the party in opposition. They're the ones who want power, and they're the ones who are trying to take it away from Trump because they think he's not doing a good enough job.
Exactly. They want things to stay closed, for you to lose your jobs, for the economy to be shit. That's what they wanted. That's what they prayed for. They prayed for deaths, and now they're praying for these riots to stay on until November. And
we'll just end on this. Matt Jungle says, Siraj, is that shirt the most comfortable thing ever? Actually, it is. This is actually a gift from Matt Jungle himself. So I appreciate it, Matt Jungle. And Habibis, it has been 69 minutes. You have been great. Thank you for joining our weekly Jihad, the Habibi Power Hour. I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Mujahed Kobbe. Ma salama.
Ma salama, Habibis. Y'all be good. Stay safe. And don't stay too crispy out there. Deuces.
Peace.